A very good afternoon to you all. This is the Ambassador. With me, your Ambassador, Jennifer McCown. Our first story is going to come from the World Health Organization as WHO warns of a global cholera surge, with 307,433 cases and 2,326 deaths in 26 countries from January to July 2024. Vaccine shortage is a major challenge, with 18 countries requesting 105 million doses, double with the 15 million produced. WHO has classified the global cholera resurgence as a grade 3 emergency, its highest level due to the increasing outbreaks, geographic spread, and the ongoing vaccine and resource shortages, warning that temperatures have exacerbated the outbreaks and led to the highest death rates in a decade. The organization has now maintained its highest emergency status due to the rising outbreaks spread through the high temperatures, causing the highest deaths in decades. Now moving on to Bangladesh, hundreds of students in Dhaka marched on Wednesday, calling for the prosecution of the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her Awami League party, with protesters demanding accountability for the deaths of over 300 individuals during the recent civil unrest. The demonstrations were ignited by opposition to a quota system for government jobs, which reserves positions for the relatives of 1971 independence war participants, which led to the violent clashes resulting in death as well. A court launched a murder probe to Hasina and officials after her 15-year rule that ended after the resignation amidst the demonstration, prompting President Mohammed Shahabuddin to appoint the Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus as the interim leader.
As you can see, there is a condition here. There is no scope to showcase personal or political honor. Yet if someone comes to spike the situation with dishonest intention, students and the public will resist it for sure.
We, the students and people who waged a mass upsurge with the sacrifice of thousands of people and brought new independence, will sacrifice more lives if we need to, but we will not allow this counter-upsurge. As soon as we found out about this conspiracy, we took to the streets and we are now making our stand.
মানুষকে এই বার্তা দিতে যাচ্ছি যে এটা সম্প্রীতির বাংলাদেশ, এখানে কোনো বৈষম্য ভেদাভেদ থাকবে না। সকল ধর্মের, সকল বর্ণের, সকল মানুষ সকলেই একসঙ্গে বসবাস করবে। এখানে হিন্দু, বৌদ্ধ, খ্রিস্টান, মুসলমান কোনো ভেদাভেদ থাকবে না, সকলেই একসঙ্গে বসবাস করবে। বলতে গেলে সোজা বাংলায় বাংলাদেশের বিরুদ্ধে যারা অবস্থান নিয়েছে, বাংলাদেশের মানুষের বিরুদ্ধে, বাংলাদেশের মানুষের টাকায় কেনা বুলেট যারা খরচ করেছে তাদের।
In Goma, the Democratic Republic of Congo, medical teams are racing to identify the rising mpox, that is the monkeypox cases, as the WHO, also known as the World Health Organization, declaring the outbreak as a global emergency. According to the World Health Organization declaring the outbreak as a global emergency, a new deadlier strain of the mpox is spreading, causing milder symptoms that are harder to detect, with health authorities urgently seeking the international support to control the outbreaks and prevent further loss of life. 9 confirmed cases have been reported, raising concerns that individuals may avoid treatment due to the fear of isolation. The Africa CDC has labeled the situation as a public health emergency, with over 500 deaths this year.
From Friday to today, We have up to 9 confirmed cases of monkeypox. People who come with suspicious lesions, we isolate them first, then take the sample for testing. We're worried because we don't feel the government is mobilizing and concerned about the best way to try and control this epidemic, which is threatening the Congolese population. The WHO declared the mpox outbreaks in Congo and elsewhere in Africa.
We have a large number of cases. The cases are increasing. The mortality rate is higher than we would tolerate. And then the thought is that new countries are now starting to report cases. So these are countries that didn't have cases in the last few years and now reporting cases. And several of them are reporting cases of the variant of mpox that is just being spread in the DRC.
South Sudan is not ready to hold its first post-independent elections in December, as political players are discussing whether voting should be held this year. The UN top envoy and the troubled African country stated on Wednesday that is Nicholas Haysom, who told the United Nations Security Council that the consultations made it difficult to treat the elections date of December 2022, December 22nd, announcing that last month by the National Elections Commission as a definitive trigger in isolation from other critical factors. Paris Kigo with a full report.
A vote, which would be the first since South Sudan gained independence from the Sudan in 2011 after a long conflict, is meant to be a culmination of a peace agreement signed 5 years ago to put the world's newest nation out of a civil war based on ethnic divisions. Fighting between forces loyal to the current President Salva Kiir, battled those loyal to the current Vice President Liam Machar, killing some 400,000 people. Last December, Haysom outlined a series of conditions needed to hold a credible and peaceful elections. In April, he told the Security Council the parties had not implemented a critical mass of the key steps for the free and fair elections. On a positive note, he said the Election Commission has started assessing the ground-level infrastructure and facilities required for a conducive environment for conducting election, and 29 political parties have been registered. South Sudanese Ambassador Cecilia Adeng said that while the country has made a significant stride, including the allocation of funds to the National Election Commission, the Political Party Council, and the National Constitutional Review Commission, recognize that the benchmark for holding the election still need to be fully met. Periskego, GBS News.
In a tense moment during a recent press briefing, journalist Jalili Afridi confronted the United States State Department spokesperson Venkat Patel over perceiving favoritism, question selection. Patel went further and responded that not everyone gets questions, prompting Afridi to accuse him of corresponding the spokesperson Matthew Miller of discarding the podium. After the briefing, Afridi took to the social media further criticizing Patel and Miller and claiming that Biden administration had brought shame to America, this incident underscoring ongoing tensions regarding media access and transparency, especially in the government communications. Here is more.
John, go ahead, because you had your hand up, and then we'll wrap. Yeah.
Man, don't wrap, man. 1 week you did not give me a chance. You don't see me in the room?
Please don't interrupt your colleagues. Go ahead, John.
Mr. Vadan, I've been a journalist 25 years. Don't tell me how to treat my colleagues. You need to treat the journalists with respect. It's my 4th press briefing with you. You have ignored.
Jalil, not everybody gets a question. John, please go ahead.
Respect, otherwise, I'm going to have been insulting you. I'm
happy to end the briefing if you're not going to.
Attitude. If you treat a journalist like this is a shameful attitude.
Go ahead, John.
You and Matt are disgracing this podium, in my opinion.
Go ahead, John.
Doha negotiation as an opportunity to avoid broader regional conflict.
So when we have talked about part of the goal when it comes to this deal. All right, thanks everybody.
President Trump is absolutely right. You guys are shaming this country.
South African prosecutors have withdrawn charges against 95 Libyan nationals arrested last month at an alleged illegal military training camp at Mpumalanga province. The men who entered the country on study visas claimed that they were receiving security training, while the only charge initially filed was violating of immigration laws. Following the withdrawal of charges, their lawyer announced that they were expected to be deported back to Libya within 48 hours. The National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, cited insufficient evidence to proceed with the case, with the men expressing relief over the decision, maintaining their assertion of legitimate training. And that international news brings us to our very first break. We have more lined up for you shortly after the break. Topics you can't afford to miss. Stay tuned with us as we resume shortly after the break with even more.
So through the four gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our
죄를
sins.
지셨고,
He carried our sins,
십자가에 못 박혀 죽어 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고,
and he was crucified, and he received the punishment for sins,
무덤에 들어가셨다가,
and he was put into the tomb,
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being
우리
crucified.
죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our
그래서
sins.
예수 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
And it's introducing our guest for today. And see, how your modeling career, like your modeling journey, where did it all start? Okay. What are the roles now that you play now as Mr. Kasarani 2023-2024?
I have succeeded because I failed a lot, but you learn from your failures. You have to let your failures teach you, but don't let them define you.
Emmanuel atatuambia like the models that he looks up to, so stay tuned. Oh, and when do you take your crown?
Yeah, I'm the one who made the crown, and I also made these things. All these accessories, even the bangles, so it complements Africa as a continent.
Yeah. Do you have any scars from doing something really stupid?
I can't say stupid.
What's the weirdest gift you've ever received?
Weirdest gift?
Okay. And what will you tell your 16-year-old self? Say even you're now you're Mr. Kasarani, what will you tell 16-year-old self akikuona sai?
Everywhere, GBS. Welcome back and thank you for staying on board with us. You are watching the Ambassador GBS Global and we are glad to have you join us today. Now moving on to the Israel-Gaza war, Palestinians mourn their relatives killed in the Israeli bombardment in the Gaza Strip. Outside the morgue in Rafah, southern Gaza, Wednesday, a total number of 4,000 victims have so far been killed in Gaza according to the health officials in the territory. The small, densely populated strip of lands is now packed with bodies. Those killed by the war are considered ritually pure under Islamic tradition, so their bodies are not washed. He said workers cover the damaged bodies in plastics to avoid blood stains on the white shorts. Paris Kigo with the report.
Families gather to pray in the yard of the health unit, where the bodies, wrapped in white clothes, by Zulay and his co-workers, are put on the ground next to each other before being taken to the cemetery. The war began on October 7, when militants from the Islamic group Hamas, which has run Gaza since 2007, attacked southern Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 253 hostage, according to the Israel authorities. Vying to destroy Hamas, Israel has responded with an air and ground assault that has laid waste to much of the Palestinian territory. The Israel-Hamas war has now lasted 11 months and talk are now underway to reach a ceasefire.
ايش اللي صار يا حاج؟ ايش اللي صار؟
ما بعرف ايش صار والله ما حدا بيعرف كلهم قرايبنا في الدور ست عائلات هنا كل الدار فيها ألف واحد هنا في المنطقة كلهم استشهدوا.
The offensive has left the sword of destruction across the territory and driven the vast majority of Gaza's 2.3 million people from their homes after multiple times. Diplomats hope it will persuade Iran and Lebanon Hezbollah to hold off on retaliating for the killing of a top Hezbollah commander in an Israel airstrike in Beirut, and of Hamas top political leader in an expression in Tehran. Successive evacuation orders and military operations have driven hundreds of thousands of people into a so-called humanitarian zone along the coast where they live in a crowded tent camps with few services. The mounting death toll from Israel military offensive on Gaza Strip is a concrete. Periskego, GBS News.
The Turkish President Erdogan hosted Palestinian leader Abbas in Ankara on Wednesday for the talks focused on the Gaza conflict. He further reaffirmed Turkey's support for Palestine and disapproved Western nations for their silence on the Israel attacks on the civilians. Abbas' expectations were addressed to the Turkish parliament on Thursday, seen as a response to Netanyahu's United States Congress speech. The backdrop of this meeting includes the rising tensions in the region, particularly concerning over the potential Iranian retaliation following the assassination of Hamas official Ismail Haniyeh, which has highlighted the fears of broader conflict in the Middle East. The meeting comes amid concerns over potential Iranian retaliation for the assassination of the Hamas official, fueling fears of a wider Middle East war. And French Foreign Minister Stéphanie Séjourné visited Beirut on Thursday to help reduce tensions in the Middle East, as East discussions with the Lebanese officials focused on the need for the ceasefire in the Gaza amidst escalating strikes between Hezbollah and Israel following the killings of the key leaders. International mediators are preparing talks in Qatar to halt the conflict and secure hostage release. Sojourner's visit is part of a broader diplomatic effort by the French President Emmanuel Macron, who is also engaging with the regional leaders. The French minister is said to continue his mission with a meeting in Israel, emphasizing the need for a Gaza ceasefire to prevent further escalation.
We all are concerned with the regional situation. Our message is simple, which is de-escalation. It is a message addressed here to the Lebanese authorities, obviously, but which will also be addressed with a certain number of other countries in the region, which will allow us to see in the future something more peaceful than in the sensitive moment that we are living. This is reassuring us, especially that 2 French airliners will continue flight to Lebanon. This reassures us, but this doesn't automatically mean that there will be a Gaza ceasefire. Without a ceasefire in Gaza, it means the war will last for a long time, whether in Gaza or here.
Algerian Olympic boxing champion Imani Khalif spoke about the scrutiny she faced during the Paris Games after winning gold in the women's 66-kilogram category following her opponent Angela Carini's withdrawal, rumors emerging which questioned Khalif's gender, appealing that she was a transgender. Despite the International Olympic Committee's defense, public figures like Donald Trump and J.K. Vance Rowling made hurtful comments causing Khalif significant distress. Khalif condemned the mix of politics and sports, asserting that this was a big insult to her family and her honor. Her lawyer has filed a legal complaint regarding the online aggravation, while Khelif remains resolute in her identity, stating, and I quote, "I remain female and will always be a female."
It affected me a lot. It hurt me a lot. I can't describe the amount of fear I had. I was afraid. I would say, why did they insist on Imam Khalif? Why is there this big noise around this world? I was afraid, but thank goodness I was able to overcome this stage. Thanks to the psychiatrist who helped me overcome this stage. What can I say about this stage? It wasn't enough. It was very difficult. I couldn't wait for it to be over. The scenario was very scary. But thanks to all the people of Algeria and the Arab world, knew Imam Khalif with her femininity, her courage and her will. Honestly, I don't like mixing politics with sport, but they've brought it into sport. Sport and politics are two separate things. These politicians have been unjust to me. They don't have the right to say that I'm transgender. This is a big insult to my family, to my honor, to the honor of Algeria, to the women of Algeria, and especially to the Arab world. The whole world knows that I'm a Muslim girl. If someone apologizes to me, I will accept the apology. To those who don't apologize, I send a message. I'm a female, I will remain a female, and my honor comes before everything.
Delegations from Brazil, Ethiopia, Armenia, and Iran have arrived in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, for the 8th BRICS, that is the BRICS standing for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa industry ministers meeting yesterday on August 16th. The key discussions will include collaboration with the Eurasian Economic Union, EAEU, and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, to provide the industrial growth and competitiveness organized by the Red Cross Congress Foundation. This gathering highlights the importance of unity among BRICS countries in addressing global economic challenges. This event, part of the Russia's leadership of the BRICS this year, will focus on enhancing industrial cooperation among its member nations. A recent UNICEF analysis has revealed that nearly 500 million children globally are experiencing extreme heat conditions that are double what their predecessors faced. Approximately 466 million children, 1 in 5, are subjected to at least twice as many days exceeding 35 degrees Celsius, that is 95 degrees Fahrenheit, each year. The report now compares data from the 1960s to the averages from the 2020 and 2024, indicating a significant rise in the extreme heat events. West and Central Africa are among the most affected regions, with 123 million children exposed to the extreme temperatures for more than 1/3 of the year. The health risks of the extreme heat are particularly severe for the children and pregnant women, leading to the complications like the malnutrition and increased disease vulnerability. In 16 countries, children now endure over a month of additional extreme hot days annually. For instance, in South Africa, in South Sudan, and currently experiences an increase from 110 to 165 hot days a year. Algeria is grappling with severe water stress, but innovative solutions are on the horizon. Among the most significant projects is the Cap Blanc seawater desalination mega plant designed to drastically improve water availability for those millions and support industrial needs in Oran and surrounding areas. Scheduled to commence on operations in December 2024, the Cap Blanc plant will be a game changer for the region, enhancing Algeria's ability ability to manage its water resources amidst the ongoing growing demand. The project involves the construction of a 300,000 cubic meters. Joy Kuria gives us the report.
Algeria is addressing its critical water supply issues with forward-thinking projects. The Camp Blanc seawater desalination plant, set to begin operations in December 2024, will significantly boost water supply for 2.5 million people and local industry in Oran. This major project is part of a broader strategy that includes integrating solar energy to reduce environmental impact. Additional plants, like the one in Mostaganem and the upcoming facility in Kandra, will further increase Algeria's desalination capacity. Beyond desalination, Algeria is reusing treated wastewater for agriculture in regions like Media, providing essential water for crops during drought. By 2030, Algeria aims to meet 60% of its water needs through desalination and advanced wastewater reuse, working toward a future better equipped to handle climate challenges. Joy Korea, GBS News.
And that international news brings us to the end of our ambassador, GBS Global. It's been wonderful having you on board, joining us to the very end. Here at the Ambassador, where we continue to bring you the latest updates and the global developments as you keep it locked with us. And I've been your Ambassador, Jennifer Macau, and I'm looking forward to meeting you here at the Ambassador on Monday, same time, same place at 1 p.m. I'm wishing you all the most beautiful afternoon and a wonderful weekend ahead. Keep it safe and see you all on Monday.